It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
And Elias, you know we're missing your handsome mug tonight.
I'm sorry.
You're a disembodied voice on our conversation.
Yeah, I'm not as tech savvy as I'd like to be.
The ghost.
I'm glad I could get you guys over the Zoom hump. On with me right now, this is Car Con Carne, sponsored by C&H Financial Services. On with me tonight, I have Rob, I have Elias, the core. They've been there since the beginning. They are Nonpoint. Elias is not on video. It was a little challenging tonight, but Rob, we get to see him in all of his glory, sheltering.
I even gave you a smile.
I love that, which is very non-metal.
Yeah.
So technology issues tonight aside, it seems to me that you guys have mastered technology since COVID-19 hit with the quarantine sessions. Tell me about that.
We decided to come out of our little hiatus, a little break, with the pandemic and everything going on. We're a very engaged band with our fan base, especially after the last year of us building on our socials and really starting to call our fan base to action and really engaging with them again online. When this all hit, we were in the middle of being gone. So, we immediately got on the phone and started putting our heads together. A lot of our fans were posting in a lot of the social groups that, where are the guys? We miss the guys. We could really use some Nonpoint now. So we kind of fast tracked our plans on coming back to a little bit sooner. And then, a lot of those plans that we had to come out, prior to all of this happening, was based on our fans and being able to tour and a lot of things. So we had to put a couple ideas on the back burner, which are still eventually going to happen. But we decided to get creative from home and give our fans a little bit of, musical relief and a little comic relief and a little Nonpoint from home.
So Alive and Kicking, I think To the Pain is still that album that the fans still just rave about. That's the one it's still a major touchstone for your fans, is that album. And whether it's Bullet with a Name or Alive and Kicking, those are songs that still deeply resonate with Nonpoint fans.
Alive and Kicking.
Yeah,
over the years we've heard the stories of how much that song has helped people like get out of their whatever darkness or hole they were in, and it's definitely been a record. We took it off streaming. We became owners of it. It was signed over to us, so we took it off streaming sites, and the amount of people asking for it was incredible. So we decided to drop it on Christmas last year. Me and Elias said, spoken a lot about it. When are we going to drop this? So on Christmas Day of 2019, we dropped it, and people were just going absolutely nuts. And I couldn't believe like the resurgence of it'll be a 15-year-old album from this November. So it was really,
Yeah, especially with the current environment and everything that was going on, it seemed like the right song to come back with and to pay a little bit of an homage to, everybody struggling with what they're struggling with right now. Everyone's story is so different, and at the same time, it's the same. We're all wondering what's going to happen this next, on the next day, and what our next month is going to look like. So, we're here to give a little relief.
Well, that brings me to the point. Nonpoint is a band that thrives on being on the road, connecting with the fans. How are you two guys holding up through all this?
Honestly, I'm more worried about my band. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
For me, it's I'm more concerned about my team and my band members. That's we all, everything that we do in this band is shared, including the profits. Nobody makes any more money than the next band member. When you come in, it's everyone does the same work and is away from their families the same amount of time. So we all make sure that the only way to survive is knowing what everyone is able to accomplish, and the best way to do that is making sure that everyone makes the same. So, even knowing that, I still worry about my guys and worry about my crew and worry about, the clubs that we adore, that we, constantly travel to 8 to 10 times a year sometimes, radio stations that have supported us for 20 years. I'm worried about me, but I always feel like if worse come to worse, I can jump in an Uber and deliver food if need be. But right now it's more about what the future of everybody in my community and what they're actually, how they're doing, because I'm doing all right. My wife, thankfully, is one of those workers that gets to still go to work. She's an essential worker. So we still have that income, and, I see friends struggling, and, I was just talking to one of our biggest, most loyal fans, and he's going through the struggle right now. And we just did this entire campaign, and all I could think to myself is, I did want to give to food banks, but I'm probably going to send a couple $100s to this guy just to help him, fill up the refrigerator, once or twice, just to, feel like that I'm at least keeping my people up. So, I'm doing okay. I'm more worried about my people.
How about you, Rob?
For myself, I mean, when this whole thing first happened, I mean, I'm 50 years old, man. I've never seen anything like this in my life. We've had the SARS, we had all the other, flus and all this other stuff. That the world didn't stop then. And when I saw that, the world was stopping, I got really worried because, Elias and myself, our biggest source of revenue is touring, and most of my friends, they're in bands. Nobody's doing anything. A lot of people are doing all these videos like us and doing all this other stuff, but we for myself, I was very, very worried. Now 2 months later, I'm very good. I think actually this has helped me, because last year I had a little bit of I had some mental issues. Last year I had to go to therapy and stuff, and it's weird that this pandemic has actually helped me, and I feel really good, man. I'm getting back into the health thing.
Good.
I'm gonna come out of this stronger than I was before, and all of my band members, we're all gonna come out stronger, and I'm keeping all the negative crap behind me, and we're gonna move forward, and we just have to, we have to be careful and, go by the guidelines and do the things that we need to do. I'm hoping that it's sooner than later, that we get back to the world, but we don't know that. Every day there's a change. Every day there's something different. And like Elias said, he even texted me today. He says, "How you doing, bro?" And I was like, "I'm okay. Why?
Is everything all right?
What do you know?
I know
Yeah.
you.
I was like, "What happened? I didn't know about it." And I'm, just checking in, and that made me feel really good. My boy, for 22 years almost, so we've been to just, out of nowhere, "What's up, bro? How you doing?" And that was really cool. And now we made a commitment to check in on everyone, make sure everybody's good. With Elias and myself, obviously, being 22 years in the band financially, we have so many records behind us that we've been able to, I've been able to save some money, and I'm not rich, I'm rich by any way, but I do okay. But there are members of my band that, like Rashid
don't
and Adam,
have the 20-year, 10-year under their belt.
Me and Elias have 10 records to our name, and so that money keeps trickling in, and publishing and stuff. So I'm thankful, and like Elias said, if worst comes to worst, I work for Uber Eats, myself. I when I'm bored, I put on the app. Let's go deliver some food. Let's make some money. There's no shame in taking care of my family. I don't care how I need to do it.
Nope.
Do I want that? No.
Totally
But, I'll do what it takes to feed my kids. Doesn't matter. So, but yeah, I'm doing good, man. And
right now
that we can do this. And
and getting certain, and really right now it's you see creatives and artists and musicians, across all mediums, they're all saying the same thing. It's right now it's time to get creative, but it's also time to take care of, yourself as much as you can. And no one knows how long this is going to go. So, we're repurposing some of our, old music while we see where our new music is going to sit in this, future, this new world that we're going to be, a part of, where, other countries are already booking drive-up concerts. It's everything is literally changing as the day goes on. So for us, we're lucky. We have a really, diehard fan base that it has been nonstop since the beginning and has always supported us. But, just recently we did a campaign where we sold face covers, masks, and a T-shirt on this Alive and Kicking campaign. And it was the best numbers that we've ever done in our merch store. And that's in the middle of a pandemic, because people, figure, hell, I got to wear a mask anyway. And this is my favorite band. They're looking to support our communities and themselves and their crew. We want to keep the Nonpoint train going. I got to get one of these things anyway. And they came to bat. And honestly, we had planned to run the campaign for 2 weeks, because that's normally what it takes for us to sell through a particular stock of anything that we throw on our merch store. But it happened in just over 48 hours that we blasted through that stock. And we were literally watching the numbers going, how is this happening in the middle of a pandemic? And it's because people know what our purpose is, and they want to keep our purpose going. We're here for them. They're here for us. It's community. And that's the only way any of us are going to survive this. So if we keep doing this, I said this on another call. We just did a fundraiser with the David Ellison Foundation. And I was just on that call. I was saying, when bands come back on tour, I can't say this enough, and I'm going to say this in every fucking interview that I get on, to make sure that bands hear me, because even if it's not with me, it should be with someone. Bands need to get together and put all day, all night bills together, where they can put big festival style tours, because everyone, once this thing finishes, no one's thinking everyone's going to want to get out and tour at the exact same time. There ain't going to be enough clubs. So if we all get together and we as a community back each other up and start going, okay, let's get together with you, you guys get together with us, and we start putting together amazing packages, we're going to be able to play to these crowds and have massive, massive crowds with amazing, amazing bills, and we will all survive. But it needs to be that community thought process when everyone's sitting down to do these shows. And it goes for promoters, club owners, managers, labels. We all have to stop this cutthroat attitude and start working together, especially coming out of something like this. That's my biggest message to everyone right now.
Community is the key word.
I agree 100%.
If you're joining the Facebook Live If you're joining the Facebook Live right now, I have Nonpoint on with me. The disembodied voice of Elias is here. The
invisible man,
invisible man of Nonpoint, and the band member we can see. It is drummer Robb and Elias from Nonpoint. I want to thank people who are watching right now. Mike, David, Ken, Jeff, John, Pilot Pete. Pilot Pete says, "Nice Rush shirt, James." What Pilot Pete doesn't realize is this interview is delayed going live because Rob and I were nerding out about Rush. We'll get back to Rush. Kelsey, Carol, Jenny, Mayor, Brian, Giorgio, Mikey, Natalie, Marky, all watching right now. Thank you for doing that on Facebook Live. You know, we talked about the fact that To the Pain is 15 years old, but oh my God, if that is 15 years old, that makes Statement 2 decades old. Are you doing anything for that?
Right.
Statement came out October 10th of 2000. So this October it's going to be 20 years old. Yeah, this October is going to be 20 years old.
It sounds like a cause or an occasion to do something special. Yeah.
Well, those moments we always celebrate on in one way or another. Lately, we've been celebrating them a lot better, I would say, with the kind of content that we've been doing, the campaigns that we've been running on our socials. So I would probably almost bet that that's going to be something really amazing and special.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Chicago for a minute. You're not a Chicago band, but I think we've kind of co-opted you as one of ours here in Chicago.
Adopted. Yes.
There's so many tentacles into your band, whether it's band members, whether it's working with Johnny K or whatever. We want to claim you as ours. Tell me about your relationship with Chicago.
Well,
our relationship with
Mr. K?
Chicago is good. Yeah.
Chicago is it's funny. We've been adopted into the Midwest as a whole, and it's always been where I think we've done the best. I know Rob could agree. How many stations? How many cities?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Midwest for us is like we call it as like areas like Wisconsin, Michigan, like Illinois, Ohio, and like Indiana. It's like Nonpoint country. I was like,
Nonpoint,
we've
yeah,
had
man.
so much success in those 5 states. At Illinois, I mean, we moved in. I moved here to Chicago about 10 years ago. This month, I moved here, and it was a lot easier. Elias had already been living in Michigan, and it was so much easier. Yeah, it was so much easier to start a tour because you can go up, down, left, or right to start a tour. Where in Florida, you went up every single time, and then you can't. When you want to start a tour, you start like in Orlando, and then you can't do Orlando again for your next tour. You got to start somewhere else, and it
right.
And a lot of bands don't even like to travel all the way to Fort Lauderdale. Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard it being such a even though it seems like a big city, it's still a 8-hour drive in and an 8-hour drive out of South Florida. So, it definitely centralized us and allowed us to tour a lot more cities that were constantly asking us to come into town. So it just seemed right, even though we were a Florida-based band and, tropical people with warm blood. It just seemed like the right idea to move to Hoth,
Yeah, but your fucking weather here sucks.
It depends on the
season. Yeah, that's why I said Hoth, because
yeah, it was like horrible. The weather, like finally we got some warm weather. I can go out for walks, but that's the only downside of living in Illinois is the weather. And
I keep a tauntaun. I keep a tauntaun in my trunk just so I could lightsaber it open and climb inside in case I get stuck in a toll behind a line of people trying to get on the Skyway.
So we talk about old albums. I don't want to dismiss the fact that your 10th and most recent, that to me is about as accomplished as this band has ever sounded. I feel like you really put everything together on this one, on the 10th album.
Oh, X.
Right? We took our time and this one we really I'd say had a eureka moment with our new producer Fred Archibald. He's really become a family member to our camp and really helped us find our new sound and really accentuate some of our, older qualities that, we've always wanted to bring out front, and then, helped us give it that fresh new paint that has put eyes back on us. So he's a great composer. He's got a great ear. When he hears that it doesn't need to move, it doesn't move. When he's got a brilliant idea, it's normally 99% of the time that we agree with the idea. So it's a good partnership.
One song that you're forever known for is your cover of In the Air Tonight. Based on how big that is for you, why not do another Phil Collins song like Susudio or something from Brother Bear? Maybe something from the Tarzan soundtrack?
We have actually talked about doing another Phil Collins song. It's just finding the right one. Yes, we have talked about it. It's just the one I wanted to do. Hell yeah, took it. I don't care anymore. So,
Oh, yeah.
and Saint Antonio
Yeah.
also did it. So that's a great song. But yeah, I am absolutely not opposed to covering a Phil Collins song. He's a great, respected artist with and incredible voice, incredible drummer. You know, and even with his work in Genesis, also was amazing.
Yeah, I'd like to get a female, and if any female singers out there are listening, there's a song that Phil Collins did back in the '80s. Forget the name of the female singer that did it with her, but did it with him. But it was called "Separate Lives." The song was called "Separate Lives." There needs to be like a rock.
Hang on, was that? I want to say Jennifer Warnes, but that can't be right. I've got to Google.
Lizzie
this.
Hales, if you're listening, by all means, come sing with us.
Yeah, give us a call, Lizzie. Well, song is. I used to win karaoke contests with that song in Tampa with my boss. She had an amazing voice when I used to sell vacations back in my early 20s. We sang that song and won a $50 bar tab.
So that was Marilyn Martin.
There it is.
That's
the one.
That's the girl that sang on the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you have the vinyl of it.
I think I do. Hang on.
I see you looking at your vinyl stash. What vinyl is that? What's the name of that record?
It's the soundtrack to White Nights.
It's the one that goes. Yes, that's right. It was the one with
White Nights
Gregory
with
Hines,
Mikhail Baryshnikov. So it's got the Phil
Hines
Collins song.
That is
Far Post
right.
Far Post by Robert Plant, which is a great song.
Yep.
Chaka Khan. Oh, My Love is Chemical. My Love is Chemical by Lou
Gorky
Reed.
Park on that one? Isn't Gorky Park on that one?
No. No, My Love is Chemical, like a total B-side from Lou Reed, which I just loved back then. John Hyatt's Big Charmer. And if you could see this, I'm holding it up to the camera. I got this used for 25 cents. A bargain at any price.
That's amazing.
See, I took you back in the day.
I don't think I've heard that, Phil.
I wish I could play it for you now, Rob. I'm sure it's on some compilation.
Yeah, play it. It's if you're listening, anybody listening, that's a great song. And if you don't agree with me, go to hell.
That's it. Natalie just said the Night White soundtrack is fantastic. See, there's a small but dedicated fan base.
Atta girl.
For this release, atta girl. Awesome. You mentioned Hell Yeah. It seems like when you guys started coming up in the early aughts, Elias, you mentioned the word community earlier, but it seems like there was that community of bands that all kind of came up at the same time, whether it was Mudvayne or Head PE. It seems like you still all kind of intersect with each other through the present day, whether it's touring or whatever.
Oh yeah. There's still that level of respect that every once in a while we're like, yeah, let's go out together again, and we're like, yeah, and then we just go out, we have fun for a couple months, and then we sit back and let them wait for it again, But it's so much fun touring with family and just people that want to be, that community, that brotherly love. Even though you may not run into them that day, the very next day when you do run into them, it's like, hey, it's always like camp. It's awesome.
So through it all, it's always been you two at the core of the band.
Yes.
Tell me about your relationship together. You've been through it all. You've been through band changes. You've been through, I'm sure, countless arguments during the songwriting and recording process. Tell me about the brotherhood you two have.
Go ahead, Elias.
I think it's that. I think it's exactly that. I mean, everyone that's been in a band, and I know Rob will vouch for this, and any other band member that's been together for longer than 10, 15 years, you learn everyone's ins and outs, but, you have that family commitment that's basically unwavering if you're committed to the band. And that's the love of, almost like a child love, jump in front of a bullet kind of love, where you're like, hey, I am committed to this, and no matter how long it takes to keep it alive and going. I'm here until, you know, basically the wheels fall off. And there's very few people that have that same kind of, you know, keep going attitude that, you know, it's like something bigger than yourself, and giving yourself to that. And, you know, Rob has that, and he sees that I have that. And no matter how turbulent the arguments may get or how hard times may get financially, because you got to understand, our first record came out on CD and cassette tape. You know, there was a very small amount of cassette tapes, but it still had some cassette tapes. So I've seen it go from, you know, from 8-track to, you know, cassette to CD to MP3 to now streaming. So right. You got to think, I've seen the financial sway of music delivery changing 4 times just in my career. So knowing that what is coming around the corner is so hit or miss, and going, fuck it, we'll get through it, is something that you can't, that kind of respect doesn't waver just because of, you know, a pair of fucking shoes in the bunk area or a disagreement about a fucking guitar riff. That's not what this whole thing is about. It's about doing what we love for as long as we can, because I could be doing something I hate and fucking hate that job. So what's the point? You know, I'd rather do something I love and do it until, you know, I don't love it anymore. And guess what? I'm 45, he's 50, and I still love it.
That's
so
awesome.
You know what? That's my brother. That's my brother over there, you know?
Yeah. Our relationship has been a very unique one, you know, because me and Elias have extremely different backgrounds, you know, even though we do love, like, we have a huge love for bands like Toto and Journey, REO Speedwagon, Kansas, and The Police. You know, we love all those bands, but I come from a metal, hardcore, and thrash background. That's like what is in my heart. Elias comes from an R&B and hip hop background.
I was a pop hip hop kid back in the day. Yeah, and R&B. That's what I listened to.
And now we've been able to, like, when he joined the band, I gave him a CD. Hey, listen to this stuff, so he can get used to like where we were possibly going. But then he brought his influence as well, like, into the band. And like he said, no matter how heated the argument is, there's always an apology is always going to come, no matter what it is. I've always, you know, been an apology. I'll give him a hug. Yes, I'm sorry. You know, tomorrow's a new day. You know, let's fuck this. You know, let's move on. And we've been through some hard times. I mean, with band members leaving, like when our bassist Ken and our guitar player Zach were out of the band. That it was in 2011. We're like just me and him. Like, what the? And me and him got signed to Razor and Tie. Just me and him. So what the fuck are we gonna do? We don't have a band.
Yeah.
And then, but we figured it out, you know, and we just figure everything out. And we just always, that's the thing, we figure it out. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is, what the situation is, how bad it is. We always come out on, I don't know what it is, man. Like, yeah, like for over the years, we have always said God is looking down on us and blessing us somehow, you know, and
we just
have been able to move forward. We've been able to move forward. Like, we have this guardian angel somewhere. He's somewhere around our houses, or he's following us. We've been close to a lot of tragedies, like the shooting in Europe. We were 2 hours away from that shit. And when the unfortunate incident of Dimebag, we were the next band to play that night, the next night at that venue. You know,
we were supposed to play Irving Plaza on September 12th, 2001. 2001.
We were across the river.
We were across the river from the Pentagon when it was hit.
From the Twin Towers.
I'm saying we were right down the street from the Pentagon, because we were just outside of Baltimore on our way to New York to play Irving Plaza. So for some reason, we've always missed it, you know, just barely missed it. And like Rob said, we're not going to look at all of those blessings as a as a signal to quit.
Yeah. Oh, definitely not. You've got a horseshoe somewhere inside your bodies.
We got a rabbit. We got a rabbit's foot.
Clearly. All right, Robb and Elias, thank you so much for doing this. I'm going to stop the Facebook Live. Thank you, everybody, for watching and participating tonight. I'm going to kill that as soon as I can figure out how to manipulate that.